Hey, welcome to the College Hockey Show. I'm Jeremiah Maxwell, host of the College Hockey Show. With me, as always, is the degenerate Bostonian Mike Guarino. Mike, how's it going? How are you doing?
Happy Friday, everyone. We're doing great here, guys. We're doing great.
Okay, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Augustana swept Colorado College. There's big games this weekend. We're going to get Mike and bets in all of them. The big games Mike wants to talk about: Minnesota, Ohio State, Maine, UMass Lowell, St. Cloud at Minnesota Duluth, old UMD Bulldogs, and North Dakota at ASU. Let's just get into it, Mike.
So, first off, was I surprised Augustana swept a little bit? Did I call they were going to at least win one game? I did. The 5-1 beatdown on the Friday, didn't expect that to happen. But sometimes you get goalied. That's just the way it is. You know, you give up 48 shots through two periods and you're winning 2-1. You just got to give it up to the goaltender. Pairwise, it ruined Colorado College, and then pairwise, Augustana is now at 18. And for those that are counting, rule of thumb is 12 because of the auto bids. Augustana is an independent; they don't qualify. But I'm looking at this as they are 6 spots away, and there's a lot of teams in there that are going to lose because they have to play each other. There's 6 Hockey East teams in there. There's 3 ECACs. They're all going to play each other. So, you know, if you're the 5 looking outside, just run the tape.
UConn, Quinnipiac, Clarkson, some of the teams you're talking about.
Yeah. Quinnipiac and Clarkson have to play each other 4 times. That's going to ruin one of them. UConn's got to play BU 3 more times. That's going to ruin one of them. And now 2 of those teams are already out. I can tell you 2 of them have to go. So now you're 16. You've already made up 2 of those spots. You got to get 4 more.
If you're a BU fan, it's not looking good this year.
I don't even know. Like, Jay looks good behind the bench. No one is complaining about Jay.
No, I think you're going to have off years too, right? I mean, like, they lost a lot of. You lose a Macklin Celebrini off that team. You know, it's crazy. You know,
he lost. Yeah, it was Macklin
and Hudson.
I still think Cole Hudson's going to be better, but.
I love that you say that, dude. I'm super stoked. I hope that is absolutely the case. But we all see what Lane Hudson is doing in the NHL this year. He made the right choice, both him and Celebrini. I think early in the year, we both would probably have said, wow, especially after Celebrini got hurt basically in the first game he played. I think we both would have said, I wish they would have stayed in college. But I think now it's easy to say they made the right choice.
Yeah, no, I was wrong about Hudson for sure. I thought he needed – I shouldn't say that. I knew he needed to go. I thought he was undersized for a defenseman, and I'm wrong. And I have no problem admitting that. I knew his skill set would be there, and good for him for making up for the size. I'm very happy to be wrong about that.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, we're getting some people on Instagram too. Sweet. So appreciate you. I appreciate you guys coming out. Mike, you want to talk about the big games, Minnesota, Ohio State, like right off the bat?
This is my favorite time of the year, especially for the Big Ten, smaller conference. Mm-hmm. And they've got monsters in there. Like, Notre Dame is not ranked, but you see Notre Dame on your schedule, you're scared. You see Penn State on your schedule, you're scared. And so, like, your bottom of the barrel teams are still making people shake in their boots.
Notre Dame 40th in the pairwise. Do they get a big bump? The team get a big bump because their football team wins a big game. You know,
that's the thing. Probably.
Mm-hmm. I think so. You know,
it's I hate saying that because we all know it's 2 different sports, but
no, you're there on the campus. It energizes you. You see what it does to the thing. I mean, I can only imagine, having not gone to a real college until I was in my 40s, but
I went on a recruiting trip to Bryant, and they flew me out to when they played Notre Dame. This is lacrosse I'm talking about. They had 15,000 people at a lacrosse game.
Yeah,
and they literally moved the game to a different facility so they could fit more people in. They didn't charge us tickets or even like parents, whatever. It was free to get into the game because they just wanted people in. They had 15,000 people.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying too. Like, They probably make a pretty decent money on like concessions when they bring that many people in for free. And I'm telling you, like, I think middle class America is being priced out of sporting events.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
I think it's getting so out of hand to go to a game and be able to afford it. And, you know, like, not everybody's rich. So it is.
Part of how I got into college hockey, the Savage and I were looking at Bruins tickets. They were 180 for balcony seats. It was $21 for us to go to a BU game.
Yeah, and you get to see guys that are probably going to be playing at the next level at some point.
Right.
Not all of them.
That's how it started. I'm like, all right, I can go to 9 games or I can go to 1. And you factor in gas and parking, it's still a 9-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a no-brainer. And now it's not one. So how often are you going to drop $1.80 on a game? Like, you're not doing that often. I can drop $20 bills every weekend to go to a hockey game. That's perfectly fine for me.
Yeah. I was telling Perlo too, like, hey, make sure you get out to the Fort Wayne Comets and you know who they're an ECHL team, I guess. But they've won a bunch of championships. Do you know who their NHL affiliate is for Perlo? You'll laugh. Because our friend Perlo.
Is it Edmonton?
It's literally Edmonton. Yeah. So anyway, thought that was interesting. Okay, but let's talk college hockey.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Ohio State. What is do you want to just break the games down, or do you want to talk about the last scout for you said the last 5 out in pairwise ASU, Quinnipiac, Clarkson, Augustana, North Dakota? You want to talk about that, or do you just want to get into the matchups, or do you want to do both?
I'll talk about, we'll do the last 5 out first and into the game. So let's say Arizona State, North Dakota, they're actually playing each other this weekend.
I think Arizona State could win these games.
Especially at home. Really love Arizona State. They're actually one of my bets this week.
They play at one of the nicest arenas, and it's so fit for an NHL team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it never hit capacity, so.
Yeah. No, I don't think they sold out.
But no, I love the Sun Devils here, but I want to highlight these 2 teams because, you know, I think Arizona State has a great chance to sweep being at home. And if you sweep, you're going to move up a spot or 2 against someone in the top 15 in front of you is going to lose. You have Maine, UMass Lowell, could definitely be a couple of losses there. Minnesota, Ohio State could be a couple of losses. So, like, you're going to have losses in front of you. And this is your chance to move up a couple games. Again, North Dakota has good wins against Boston University. It has a win against Denver. So, like, it's helping your pairwise against liked opponents. You're earning that extra point towards, your max score of 64, which BC's got right now. Michigan State sitting at 63. But you're earning points towards that. And so, like, it's these games right here where your last 5 out need to win. I look at a team like Quinnipiac and Clarkson. They don't have big games left. Like, they don't have it. Dartmouth just lost to Merrimack and ruined their pairwise. Augustana, I look at them as an independent and go, you need some help, but it can happen. And they've got a couple, they got good teams. They need some help, but I would love to see them in I think they're a great Cinderella story. But again, like, they have great wins against Wisconsin, who's heating up, against Colorado College, who I think will bounce back. And the thing with the pairwise is all right, you beat them and they don't count what your rank was then. It's what it is now. And it's like you're constantly gaining more points. And so Augustana will have help from early on season victories. So I'm hoping maybe they can sneak in. But that's what I said. The last 5 out, like, they need help. And I'll change that right into our games. North Dakota, Arizona State, I don't see Nodak pulling it out on the road. I don't. I think that's a clean sweep for Arizona State. I'm playing it safe, taking Sparta at +1.5, but I'm really struggling that Arizona State doesn't sweep. I really, really don't understand it. That environment is awesome. It's only 7,500 people, but North Dakota plays against 16,000. But you know what? They're all rooting for you. I'm sure there'll be North Dakota fans in the house. That's not a question, but
yeah, they travel. I'm sure that half of them live in Arizona anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially this time of year.
Alone, but
yeah.
I'm struggling. I definitely see Arizona State win, and you and I have talked about this relentlessly. You have to survive Friday night at Arizona State. I'll remind you guys, last year, Merrimack opened at Arizona State, and 3 kids had Unknown illnesses Saturday morning. It comes to find out they were too hungover to play. You have to survive Arizona State. You need to have the discipline to not want, oh, look, there's a poolside party. Oh, look, there's another rooftop party. Oh, no, that's my dorm, the hotel down the street I got to get to. You have to have discipline for that.
If for those that don't know, Arizona State, when Playboy and Sports Illustrated and all those used to do the top party schools, they were always up there.
Yep.
They're always up there for a very high.
You've got to have the discipline. And I think North Dakota does, but I was a 19-year-old kid once too. So it's tough. It's a home ice advantage for sure because Arizona State's just going back to their room, they're chilling, they're hanging out, they're repeating the process the next day. That's why I love ASU at home here. Minnesota, Ohio State, number 4 versus number 10. I mean, Ohio State split last week against my boys in blue, and now the Gophers are coming into town. That Snuggerud combo is just lethal. Snuggerud's already signed for St. Louis, and they said pack a big suitcase. He's done. Like he's it. It's it. It's over for him. His plan is to go to the Frozen Four and never return.
Snuggerud's with
Minnesota. Golden Gophers going to be a blue, and they said.
You think they're in the Frozen Four this year?
They get a chance. With this line combo, I really think they have a chance.
I feel like as well. Their top 3. It feels like a Minnesota making it again.
It should. I hope they do. If they don't, I mean, tournament lock at this point. And I'd be very stunned if they get upset in the first round. Maybe they run into a tough second round opponent. Like last year, Michigan State, clearly better than Michigan, but it was the 7th time they played. And you just beat Michigan back to back. You weren't beating them 3 in a row. It's just
there's no way Michigan State. There's no way Michigan State's not in the Frozen Four this year. In my opinion,
I'd be stunned. Yep. I mean, I got Cornell wrong. Cornell is definitely not in the Frozen Four this year. I got that one wrong.
Yep. Maybe you never know, but yeah. Well, they might not make the tourney though, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They may not even make the tournament.
Yeah.
I got Ian Shane winning the Richter. Got that one wrong too. I'll own that. But Minnesota, the Snuggerud combination, it's been a lethal attack, and I knew this would happen. You have as the Gopher fans called him, a jitterbug, as I called him, a piano with wood. But you put the puck in wood stick, it's going in the net. He's done that time and time again. He had 3 against Augustina in 2 games. Augustina, for those that don't know, he just won a gold medal for Team USA. Guy's a wall.
Augustana.
Augustana. To get confused with the college. Augustana.
Okay.
I know. We get why is that a double name? Good for us. Game I would love to go to, but I can't because I'm deciding to travel this weekend. It's in my backyard. Maine versus UMass Lowell.
Big game.
I had the privilege to go to
6-7, 7-8.
Yeah.
What is it? Pairwise has
6 and 8.
UMass is 8 in the NCAA rankings. Maine is 7, but in the pairwise, Maine is 6. UMass Lowell is 8. So not a huge difference, but
no. As I said, I went to Alphon last week, and to everyone who's listening, you need to get there.
Yeah.
For me, it was 9 hours of driving round trip. I did it. I got home at 2 a.m. I didn't care. You walk into that arena, buy the beer garden passes because you get in 45 minutes early, and they let you just walk around the arena. And I don't know. I saw the Paul Correa exhibit. I saw the Black Bear exhibit. They have any person who played in the NHL. They have their jerseys from the year they played. Mm-hmm. So it's just
Swayman.
It's Swayman. They got Nadeau. They had Correa. They had Snow. I'm missing a few others. Maine fans, I'm sorry. I was just I had this whole look in awe in my face the entire time.
Maine doesn't have a pro team. That's their pro team. I mean, they got the ECHL team now that they got from Alaska, but dude, that's their pro team, and their colors are awesome.
Yeah.
The NHL team doesn't have that black.
Yeah,
I guess Utah kind of adopted their colors, didn't they?
I just how about, I don't know how Davis kept his head. You heard his mom and his sister's name called in warmups. Every time a puck went in the net in warmups. They started doing, for those that know the Civ chant, they're doing that in warmups. They're on him. an hour and 20 minutes before game time.
I think that even makes Denver's win there without David Carl Friday
Oh,
night an impressive win. So
absolutely it does.
yeah,
That was, and I
yeah.
just, but to everyone, get to Alphon. But that being said, this game's at UMass Lowell. For those who remember the Lock Monsters,
Yeah.
That's the arena. It has not changed. They were the Junior Devils at one point as well. But I mean, this was supposed to be a rebuild year for UMass Lowell. It's not. They did not get the message. They decided we're going to be a national contender. This is supposed to be a year Maine could win it all. I think enough said. You have, Maine got Nadeau back Saturday night. I think that may have been the difference against Denver. The game they won, Nadeau was playing, or Friday night, Nadeau did not. He was a member of Team Canada. But everyone's back. UMass Lowell didn't lose anybody. They have fresh legs. They're ready to go. They've had a nice long rest. And I can tell you right now, this game's been a target. Watch out for the Riverhawks. Am I touching this game? No. Even if I could find a way to do it, I'm not touching. But I would kill to be at this game. I'm actually calling this my game of the week. It's my favorite one. Next game I have is St. Cloud and Minnesota Duluth. This is an in-state rivalry game. And St. Cloud, you're number 9. You're fighting to be a 2 seed. You lose this game, you're going to fall. Like, you cannot lose to number 40. And that's why I highlighted it, because a split here, granted, you're on the road. A split here is bad. Maybe a loss in overtime won't hurt you that much. You'll get 3 points. You'll get 3 much-needed points. But you need at least 3 points out of this game. You can't drop 2 to the Bulldogs. And I'm not knocking the Bulldogs. They look great. They split against UMass Lowell early this year. But you can't you can't do this in number 9. You will fall out, and you have a team like Arizona State or North Dakota. One of them has to win. And you have Augustana, who's heating up. They're coming for your spot. So you can't lose. And as we touched on earlier, North Dakota, Arizona State, I think Arizona State sweeps. With that sweep, I think they'll climb into like that 13 spot. And the magic number in the pairwise is 12 because of the auto bids. The committee will pick one other team after that goes 12, 3 auto bids, and then there's that one other team. So 13 sometimes gets you in, but the magic number is usually 12. So I think with Arizona State sweeping, they can get to that magic number, if not next week. And I hope they do. As I said, I really, really hope they do. I think if they get in the tournament, they also win at least one game. But we'll see in a couple of months. Beard, we may be cheering with, having a couple Bud Lights from the brewery with them out in St. Louis. We don't know. But it will be interesting. But I am a degenerate gambler. I am heading to a poker tournament. Anyone in Atlantic City this weekend, please hit me up. I'll be at Ocean Casino. Happy to buy you a beer. But my bets this week, I got 5 of them. Love Michigan State. They're at Penn State, -125. I am going to do a round robin, guys. I need 2 combination for those that truly know. It's going to cost me a total of 4 units for 5 bets. That's why I did it. It's a little cheaper this way. And I'm a little greedy. Come on. Who doesn't love hitting a parlay, right?
No, that's the best, right?
Right. And that's so quick insight, a 5 round robin, picking 5 of them. There's 10 parlays totally bet here amongst the 5 teams, all the combinations. So let's say you bet $1 on it. It costs $10 because it's actually 10 separate bets. So I kind of spread it out. I looked at it as, instead of betting 5 units, I'm betting 4. Instead of my return to be 4 or to be 5 units, I can get 10 back. So I looked at the, I felt the value was there. Michigan -130 at Notre Dame. I am aware Notre Dame just had a monster game last night against Penn State in football. They're going to be hyped up for this. Michigan cannot afford to lose. They are just like St. Cloud. They are, they're in right now, but they're knocking at that magic door of 12. They're at 11, and they have to. We need a W here. Notre Dame still yet to win on a Saturday, but today's Friday, so the Irish may pull one out here. I will be doubling down on Michigan if they lose tonight. I will double down on them tomorrow. But they're -130 tonight. I'm taking them. Minnesota -200 at the Buckeyes. I talked about it earlier. The Snuggergaard and Wood combo. I think it's too much.
Snuggerud.
Snuggerud, I'm sorry.
You said it right like the whole show.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I think that combination's too much. I do. I've said it all year. I said it preseason, and they're lighting it up. Now,
Ooh, Ohio State's a good team, 10th.
and now
in the pairwise.
I have to give credit where credit's due. Two guys I was snoozing on, didn't think anything of it. Mosley Finney. They're both on Wisconsin. They are the number one two-player combo in the country. For those that are going to tell me BC, that is a three-person combo. Unfortunately, Hagens is third on that team in points, so I cannot go Leonard Perreault. I have to include the guy that's third when he's the centerman. But that line is something special nonetheless. I'm taking St. Cloud as well, -180 over Duluth. It is a must-win game for St. Cloud. I already said that. They are the superior team. It's been 2 or 3 years since they've been in the big dance. And
yeah, they're 9 in the pairwise, St. Cloud is. And like you said, UMD is 40th, tied with Notre Dame. They're tied at 40 in the pairwise. So that Notre Dame, if they're climbing out of it, they have to beat Michigan, obviously. If St. Cloud wants to stay where they are, they got to beat UMD. So
yeah, it's what I mean. I hate betting against a must-win game when a team's at home, but I do like the superior team in a must-win game as well. So that's where I'm at for that one. And again, St. Cloud, it's been 3-4 years. They had a 4-year run where they were the number one team in the country. They lost to the 16 team back-to-back years, and then they lost to the Minutemen in the chip, UMass Minutemen. That was the year after McCarr left. Who would have thought UMass can't get it done with McCarr? You lose McCarr, and you win.
It doesn't make any sense.
I'm not knocking McCarr, everyone. I'll be very, very clear. We are not knocking McCarr.
He was a one and done. He was one and done too, right? Though.
No. He was part of the UMass tradition of you do every 4 years. Well, I'll find it for you. No one talks about UMass being a defenseman factory. They've had a first-round draft pick every 4 years. That was a defenseman. Cale McCarr being the most recent one.
No, but like he was a one and done at UMass. He only played 1 year there, is what I was saying.
No, I thought he had a couple. I think it was 2. It may have been 2. I could be wrong. On that.
I thought he was one and done.
It may have been one. But it's like but in the last, I think it's 20 years, they've had 5 first-round picks that were defensemen, and it's just like you don't think about it because it's spread out. But you're like, oh, he does this 4 years. This guy comes in. Does this 4 years. This guy comes in, and I will when my flight lands, guys, if Beard doesn't find it before me, I will find it for you. My final bet, I touched on it earlier, Arizona State +1.5 at -250.
Really? Stand with +1.5. You like
they're at home. And that's why I'm like, I really like the money line. I do. But for those that don't know, +1.5, let's say North Dakota wins this game 3-2. You add 1.5 goals to Arizona State's score. So the way the casino sees it, it's North Dakota 3, Arizona State 3.5. 3.5 is more than 3, so you win. Same with -1.5, you need to win by 2. But I like Arizona State money line. I did just lose 5 games in a row in overtime, so my last 6 bets, 5 of them were losses, all in a shootout. So I'm taking the +1.5 when I can get it. Your Capitals were my only W. I appreciate them very much.
Okay, yeah, that was a tough one too. They're playing again tonight and against the team Montreal. That's tough. So
that's going to be a fun one. But guys, those are my bets this weekend or for Friday night. I will be tweeting out again Saturday with Saturday picks. Savage is taking the Merrimack Warriors money line +400. As much as I want to say he's tapped, he did hit a +1,300. So I can't hate that much.
Merrimack at BC. He's taking Merrimack, huh?
So here's the thing, because I've seen this happen too many times. Merrimack, for some reason, plays BC and BU like their life depends on it. And I don't understand it.
They probably hate him. You got to figure those kids are kids that didn't get into those schools.
Yeah.
So they hate them.
And they
want to show them.
The old Providence Friars coach is the Merrimack coach. Like they get up. Like Merrimack has a sellout crowd Saturday when they host BC. They've already sold out.
This is in BC though.
Yeah, tonight it's in BC. Tomorrow it's at Merrimack. For those that don't know,
so it's a home and a home.
Yeah. So, guys, the Northeastern schools in New England, for the most part, were 30, 40 minutes apart.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they do a lot of home and homes, which is
yeah.
cool.
Minnesota,
Which is cool.
Ohio State, that's 7,
Well,
8
even if,
hours.
yeah,
They do 2
Denver
games
traveling
around.
all the way across to Maine, they're going to play both games in Maine. Makes sense.
Yeah. 30 minutes apart, they do home and homes. And they said Merrimack's already sold out for Saturday. So I think he's jumping the gun. I think Merrimack actually could win at home Saturday. But he's taking them tonight. The value's there, I think, 400, 4-1 on your money. But I don't know. I took assumption at or St. A is a plus 1900. That didn't go too well.
No.
But
okay. A couple other games I know. Vermont at BU.
Watch out for the Catamounts. All right, they have 4 draft picks on that team that can skate. Now, granted, they only have 4. BU, you're struggling. Watch out for the Catamounts. That could be something we want to look at. And I'm telling you again, I talked about it earlier. BU at 13, you can't split with Vermont. You got to sweep. Break out the broomsticks. You need to blow them out of the water. Don't beat them 2-1. Beat them 10-1. So watch out for the Catamounts. Actually drew a blank there. Who UConn was playing?
I've got it here. Union and Clarkson playing. That's a top 20 matchup. Yep. Again, when I'm saying these, I'm talking about the actual NCAA rankings and not the pairwise because I'm looking at the schedule. Yale at Dartmouth. That's obviously a huge Ivy League game. UConn is at UNH. 15
versus 10. And pairwise, it's 15 versus 10. And like, again,
what, Yale and Dartmouth?
No, UConn and UNH. Like, so UNH, who started this
UNH is 17 and UConn is not ranked in the normal one. Yeah, just so I'm telling you, they're not considered ranked. So
that's what I mean. Like, that's why I kind of like the pairwise and don't, because like I agree UConn shouldn't be ranked. I agree UNH should not be a top 10 team.
Quinnipiac at Princeton. Quinnipiac should not be top 20. They're 10-7. If they lose to Princeton, who, by the way, is getting top 20 votes.
Like, I look at Quinnipiac, I'm sorry, and like they went to Maine, they got swept. They played them tight, they got swept. They split with UNH. They swept Cornell, but Cornell's a dumpster fire now. Like, they at least tried to build the schedule. I mean, Maine and UNH, they're looking like great out of conference games. I can't knock them for that. But they didn't get the wins. And so, like, I think they're getting some favorable treatment. People say Northeast bias, 100%. I'm going to agree with you there. And I think the knock is we have more teams than as you further west you go when it comes to college. There's 10 Division I schools in Massachusetts alone. Just let that sink in. There are 3 conferences in Massachusetts. And if this new conference develops, there'll be 12 Division I schools and 4 conferences in the state of Massachusetts.
Yeah. I mean, we just need to see some Western expansion. I'd love to see the Pac-12 schools, the old Pac-12, whatever.
The Fighting Illini of Illinois, you told me in 2018 we'd have a varsity team. It's 2025, fellas.
Yeah. And
where are you?
And there's definitely just like a lot of kids that play hockey out of that area, like Clayton Keller from Chicago. Okay. Minnesota State Mankato at Northern Michigan. That's one of the games we didn't talk about there. I
think State rolls them.
So yeah, Minnesota State is good. And Northern Michigan is obviously not ranked. If you go to the pairwise, that would be a significant loss if Northern Michigan, by the way, is second to last in their pairwise, 63.
Not surprised. I mean, they're playing mostly freshmen. It's a brand new roster.
They have 1 win. So they're, if Minnesota State Mankato loses that game, they are
even in overtime. I want to be clear. Even in overtime, they lose that game, they're out of the pairwise.
Yep. And they're right there. They're 14. They can't lose. So
no. As I said, BU. Like if the season ends today, I think BU gets in at 13. Michigan definitely gets in at 12, but BU probably gets in at 13.
Well, you said it's only top 12, right?
Right, 12. Then there's 3 auto bids, but 16 get in. So usually the 13th team gets that pick.
Right. I don't see them hanging there. They got to win. Hopefully Arizona State or Augustine. I'm sure North Dakota is hoping UMass, obviously. Okay. Yeah, follow Mike at the below at Boston Dege
Again, guys, my picks will be on,
38395.
yeah, my picks will be on Twitter.
And come back and join us at 10:30 Eastern. Me, Rico, and Perlo will be talking NHL. There's 5 slates, and we got to preview this weekend's games. There's 15 games on Saturday. 15.
I'm gonna get
Crazy.
facing a TV Saturday.
Yeah. I got people coming over, so I'll probably be able to watch like half of what I want to watch, but it is what it is. Got to actually associate with some human beings from time to time.
What?
So, yeah. I mean, this is great. I love getting to hang with my friends, Mike. I consider you a friend now. We get to do this show, but it would be nice to hang with you in person from time to time. It's good. We get to do that on the Frozen Four. So, hey,
well.
We got a decent number of people in. I appreciate everybody. I know, everybody's kind of just getting back in the swing of things, holidays and stuff. There could be some changes coming to this show. But for right now, we're going to be going business as per. We'll be going Fridays until we go to the Frozen Four. And then we'll try to actually do a live show there, from our hotel. So, we will see hopefully some of you guys there. Some of the people that I've met from the chats, Big Willie Style, I think is from Minnesota. So we know the World Juniors are in Minnesota next year. And then
we know you're out in St. Louis.
St. Louis, J-Rock from St. Louis. Who else? Who else
Darkness.
did you say? Darkness. Tim Peel, former referee, lives in St. Louis. Hopefully get a chance to say hey to Tim. Some other guys, all the Daily Face-Off folks, Colby Cohen, the ESPN folks, John Boochcross, all them. So anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you again, 10:30 Eastern, right here on this channel. Have a good one.